It's back. Married at First Sight Australia, Series 9. It's I managed to watch the first 5 or 6 episodes of this series, finally, over the weekend. Watched the dinner party last night, and I thought to myself, you know what, Lynn? I need to talk about something here. I really wasn't planning to do a review on this because everything you need to know is already on the internet. I think they filmed so far in advance with this series that is all over the internet already, over YouTube anyway. So, first of all, we've got 8 couples. First people we have is Dominica, who's 28, and then we have Jack, who's 26. Now I like these two together. I do. I think they work well. So I can see myself rooting for these guys to get to the end somewhere. Then we have Cody and Selena. Now Selena is, oh God. Selena is the Cambodian girl, isn't it? Yes. And Cody. Yeah, he's the one that wasn't really attracted to her. That's a question mark on that one. I don't know whether love can grow there. I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical about those two. Then we have Andrew and Holly. Andrew's the Texan guy. Yeah. Did you see that honesty box? Did you see the honesty box? Where he turned around and said, the first night of them consummating the marriage, how he felt that she wasn't there and that sex is important to him. And the way he broke it down to her, he was intense. But then on top of that, he turns around and says, I've had one night stands with more feelings. How dare you? How dare you? But she's still living on hope that this can work out. She's still living on hope. Oh, from the time someone says that to me, oh God, it's a no-go. We're done. If sex is that important to you, then you're better off single. You are better off single or finding somebody compatible sexually. Because already we can see she doesn't fit your criteria. We can see that already. So I can't see this going anywhere. So they're going to struggle. Holly definitely will struggle with this. She wants to let it go. But from the time he's put that thought in your head, you're not going to be able to let that go. And then when I look at him, Andrew, my question is, you've had 2 marriages. Why didn't they work? Were they hot and heavy at the beginning and they tailed off? So the sex wasn't as great as it used to be? Or your partner was no longer interested in sex the same way they were at the beginning? That's my question. Anyway, moving on to Celine and Anthony. Yeah, those two. I was rooting for them at the beginning. I really were. I thought, oh, these two look good together. They look really good together. The family were getting on at the reception. Her doing her Turkish dancing and so forth. They were getting on. And then it went wrong on the honeymoon. Wow. Did you see how she changed? It wasn't him. He was still the same person. She changed. But then she tries to blame him for him being him. What we saw was a fake persona from her. He's been his true self, authentic self throughout. So I'm not happy. I'm not happy with her at all. Not one bit. Because she's showing me a side of her that I do not like. I feel sorry for him. Who reminds me of, who am I thinking of in the last series? The one who we later found out had a boyfriend back home. The one that went home to look after her sick dog. Her. She reminds me of her. And he reminds me of the guy. Forgotten his name. Jake. That's his name. Jake. So that's what I see here. The same scenario where he was very quiet and she was very loud and standoffish. I see the same scenario here. Anyway, moving on from them two. We have Ella and Mitch. Now Ella's the young girl with the black hair and Mitch is the one that looks like a model. Yeah, he looks like a model. I like those two. They look good together. Very pretty couple. So I can see them, yeah, getting to the end somewhere. I can. There's not much more I can say about these two. So moving on from them, we have Tamara and Brent. Now Brent was a guy that used to work in Dubai. Lost his businesses or whatever. Yeah, and whatever else. And then Tamara's the blonde hair. Yeah. I've got no words. She's too stuck up for my liking. Even though these two are getting on very well right now, I still see red flags. I still see red flags. I can see them, her friend zoning him. I really can. Them two being just good friends. I can't see the romance in this. They get on well, they have a laugh and a joke, but I can't see it. The way she was at the reception with nitpicking at every little thing he was doing, using the wrong fork and all that shit. I understand the etiquette, I do. But come on. It was your wedding day. Why would you nitpick on your wedding day? And then it was all about the cake. That she cut the cake the wrong way with the back end of the knife. And then try to blame him for giving her the knife in the wrong way. What the hell? You know what? I can't. Such a petty argument. You have to make it a big deal. Anyway, enough about her. I can't talk about her anymore. Yeah, she's going to be one that grates on me throughout this series. She's going to be one I'm looking at. And same with Celine. She's another one I'm looking at. So moving on to Olivia and Jackson. Now Olivia is, yeah, she's a shy girl. The one that was talking about her weight, always being overweight as a youngster. She still has a very low self-esteem. I actually like her. And I actually like Jackson as well. When I saw these two being paired up, I thought, yes. Yes, perfect for each other. And I can see them two lasting as well. So we're going to have to wait and see how they pan out as we go along. But I'm liking the look of these two. I am. Then lastly, we have Sam and Al. Now, Sam's the blonde-haired fashion brand manager. And then Al, I can't remember what he does. He's a chippy of some sort. With him, I just can't. He behaves so much like a little juvenile. Did you see how his mum was trying to dress him? And how his mum had to pick up behind him, do his laundry, do all his cooking for him. She even packed his lunch for him for the next day. I think, how old are you? You're 25! You're 25! And you can't even boil a blasted egg! Oh, that's absolutely embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. Matchmakers, I don't know what you were thinking, putting him with her. Do you see her? She's got her shit together. And then you put her with this juvenile? And you expect her to teach him how to be a grown-up? Oh, come on. This is ridiculous. I can't see it working. Even though they get on, even though they're starting to get on, this here can work out to be a very playful friendship. Let's put it that way. But long term, as a marriage, I'm sorry. I can't see it. I don't know what you were thinking. And did you see Mr. Al drink from his boot like it was a Bucks party he was at? That there was embarrassing. His wife was embarrassed. If the ground could swallow her up, that was just too much. That to me shows his age. He's not mature enough to be on this show. Matchmakers, what were you thinking? So fast forward to the dinner party. So at the cocktails itself, we saw the first 3 couples come in, and then we saw a conversation that took place between Andrew, Holly, and Tamara. Yes, Tamara. Tamara asked a question about the honesty box. Everything went quiet. Then Holly decided to say, yeah, about the honesty box. There was one question in there that came across very brutal. Those are the words she used, brutal. And Andrew could have said it in a much more slightly subtle way, but he was very brutal. Again, we're talking about the sex thing. The thing is, when I look at Holly, I can see her doing her best to make this work. But she's not going to be able to forget what he said. Nor would I. So this to me is going to be the downfall of that relationship. He's all about the sex. He's not going to get it from her. They're just not compatible. He is not going to get it from her. So I can't see it working. I'll give them a few weeks in. But they're not going to last to the end. That's my prediction. Then we saw Dominica be a part of this conversation. She heard the part in regards to Andrew describing that he's had one night stands that were better, that had more life or more passion. You know what I mean. I can't remember the words. Dominica's reaction to that was like, if a guy had said that to me, she would have told him to go to the bathroom and finish himself off. I would have done exactly the same thing. But then later on, Dominica does upset me when she starts to side with, what's her name? Celine. Celine walks into the cocktail party on her own. Now everybody wants to know, why is she on her own? Celine said beforehand, I'll tell my story, but I'm not going to throw him under the bus. That's what she said. I won't throw him under the bus. But she did exactly the opposite. She threw him under the bus. She had all these women around her like little hyenas, listening to everything, cackling at everything, and siding with her. I didn't like that. There's 2 sides to every story. 2 sides. So what you need to do is get both sides of the argument before you make your judgment. And if you're not hearing both sides, don't side. Just don't side. It's as simple as that. So then we saw Mr. Forgotten his name again. What is his name? Anthony. He walked in on his own. These two didn't say a word to each other. Celine and Anthony didn't say a word to each other. It was awkward. You can see he's a very gentle guy. Gentle giant. He reminds me of that, the one in the last series. This guy. Mr. Anthony here reminds me of that guy. Very burly, very strong demeanour, but very soft at heart. Yeah, that's what I saw. And the way she was trying to belittle him, calling him, what word did she use? About calling him princess or something like that, she did a few times on their honeymoon. But he's just not the type of person to fight back and argue with her on that level. That to me is childish behaviour. He's a 39-year-old man. He's not going to bow down to that. He's not going to do it. And I like him for that. Just don't play her at her game. Because this girl here, she's a troublemaker. I can see it. She's a troublemaker. I'm not liking it one bit. And then on top of that, we see Dominica coming to her defense when they're at the dinner party itself now, and siding with Celine, like Celine can't do no wrong, even though she doesn't know all the facts, because Celine hasn't given you all the facts. She just told you what she wants you to know. And then Celine's the type of person that throws a grenade and then stands back whilst everybody else argues. She's that person. She's a troublemaker. She is a troublemaker. But we're going to have to see how that pans out, because when Mr. Anthony was asked by Dominica, so what's your side of the story? He didn't want to talk about it. Not in front of these cackle of women or people. He's just not that guy. He's just not that guy. That's between me and Celine. That's as far as he's concerned. We're grown up here. We're going to discuss it in private. He's that guy. And I respect him for that. I just don't respect her. I liked her at the very first go when they got married. I thought, oh, these two look good. But then when the cameras were off and they were on their honeymoon, ooh, she switched. She became somebody else. Did you not see it? She became somebody else. I wasn't feeling that, not one bit. Then what else happened? Oh yes, they went out he pulled her to one side, outside, to have this private talk with her. And still, she wouldn't put her hand up to say that she had anything to do with what happened. No, she was still blaming it all on him. He left. That's all she kept saying. He left. He put his hand up to say, yeah, I shouldn't have left. But that's all she kept throwing. You left. You left. She had nothing else to back up her argument with. Nothing else at all. This girl was just blowing hot air. She had no argument. Except for he left. That was weak. I want to see what happens at the commitment ceremony. But Mr. John, please do your job. Please do your job. And pull her up.
So this is where I'm going to leave it. If you like what you heard, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.